But it wasn't because I was following Atomic Habits and the 4 steps that I laid out there. It was because I was seeing something inside of my mind, my thinking around that shifted. I could share a little bit of a personal story about that. What many of you don't know about me is that I spend a lot of time in front of my screen, obviously. I do a lot of my coaching, virtual. And in the past, I struggled with back pain and basically stiff neck and neck pain. And for the longest time, I had the idea that I should be exercising more. So obviously, like making exercise a habit that would actually do enough in order to, fix my back and get rid of my neck pain. And of course, I have read, The Power of Habit, Atomic Habits, and a bunch of other books about creating habits. And there's a lot of information out there, as you say, you just have to do it for 30 days, or you just have to do it for 90 days. And there are all these like tips, tricks, tools, ideas about habit creation. And I agree that ultimately, whatever you do consistently, changes for you. Or there you grow your muscles, you build, power, you build expertise, and so on. Now, I didn't do that consistent exercise because I always had, I had all the information and I had a lot of reasons, AKA excuses, of why I didn't do it, right? So I don't like to get up early in the morning, that's hard for me, I have kids, I have a very busy day, I don't have the energy in the evening, and I don't sleep well, and so. And then something happened for me. In this specific example, I had a really big insight and aha moment, which had to do with my own coach who went through like a really big body transformation, but that's not the main point. I think the main point is I just saw something clicked in my head about, you could say, like that power inside of me, but the click was sort of like every reason I had about not exercising fell away because I saw it was just an excuse. I saw that it wasn't the truth about my circumstances and my situation, but I saw that there was a lot of like pervasive thinking that made me believe I had good reason not to exercise, but that was just an illusion, basically, a hallucination in my mind that looked credible. So that fell away. And from this moment on, I started, thinking, oh, you know what, I could try this, and I could download this app that I was in touch with in the past before, and I could do it at home. I don't actually have to go to the gym. I could rearrange my morning a little bit. I don't even have to get up earlier. Make a long story short, I've been exercising consistently for the last 15 months now, 5 to 6 times a week, every morning, right now about 30 minutes, with like an app and sort of like body weight training. And from the outside, you would probably say, so now I have built the habit of exercising and I just do it. But it wasn't because I was following Atomic Habits and the 4 steps that I laid out there. It was because I was seeing something inside of my mind, my thinking around that shifted. And obviously, I've been on a longer journey of coaching, so a couple of things clicked into place. But, in a way, you could also say this was about integrity. It was like, okay, I'm gonna exercise right now, independent of how I feel, right? We had that discussion a little bit in our private WhatsApp group. How relevant is it how you feel about what you then actually do about that? And so this is, like, I would say, you could say this is about habits, but you could also say this is about finding within yourself the power to do something independent of your limiting thinking about it and independent of how you feel. And that for me was, from a long history of personal development books and all the strategies and tools in there, that was kind of like the biggest shift, that this is not about tools, but this is about really understanding what's going on in here and then seeing the possibility of, making a different choice and then acting differently based on that choice.